So it's finally time to pull the motor and get working on the engine bay. It's kind of a bittersweet moment, but it's just something that needs to be done to make this, set it off and really complete the project. As far as the engine bay shave, we're going to be removing stuff like this bracket and these posts, and then we're going to have to do some custom stuff to mount up these items because I don't want these brackets because this thing is super ugly. The brake reservoir, it has this bracket here, which is from K-Power, I believe, and I want to possibly move it over this way onto the shock tower. I think that'll look a little better, just open this space up a little bit. And then of course, with the motor out, we can finally properly clearance this firewall section, which, when I say that, I mean hit it with a hammer. So we just have a little more room on this backside. This catch can here is going to be mounted in this general area. And then I'm going to be using the E30 M3 firewall cover to tuck all the wiring. Another thing to note is that all this wiring in here is going to be tucked behind the fender. And I'm probably going to put a connector on the end. So when I pull the core support, you can also disconnect all the wires at the same time. First up, I'm just going to remove the grille and headlights and the front bumper and all that. And I've cleared some space up on my shelf here to put all that. Very easy to remove. So with the headlights and grills removed, next up is to pull the bumper, which is pretty quick. There's a nut behind here, and then there's 2 bolts that come in through the sides. All right, so we got the bumper off, and I just disconnect the turn signal and the fog light. Next up is to remove the actual core support. Of course, we're gonna have to drain this too. So now it's time to make a mess. You can see I pulled up my old floor pad a little bit, and I got this bin that'll hopefully catch most of the coolant. All right, so we'll let that drain out for a bit, and then we can get moving on removing the radiator. Before I forget, let's remove the fuel pump fuse, which I think is 11, and we got to prime the car here so that there's no gas in the lines. Just trying to get any gas out of the lines here. Oh, we are in first gear. All right, that should be good. Should also take this time to clean this area and then protect it with that covering I have. You just kind of stick it on like that. There's not much to it. If you're wondering where I got this bracket, I designed it in Fusion 360 and had it custom made. I explained it a couple videos ago, so check it out if you're doing a swap like this. So now I'm just going to kind of tilt this and try to drain some out of the bottom corner. There you go. Ouch. that's the rad removed. Just put it over here in my parts junkyard. So with the radiator out, we're pretty much ready to pull the core support, which is a bolt here and here, and then 2 more on this inside. Same on both sides. We're also gonna have to remove the hood latch. Oh shit. Jesus. Just pop these bolts back in so I don't lose them. Oh, I already lost the other one. I think that's it. In the forbidden pool. Yep. Okay, so the core support is a little bit tricky. Got to remove a couple of these on the fender. Pop the fender out because it bolts through. So with all that, you got plenty of room to pull out the core support. So we also got to yank all this wiring through. And this whole thing is loose now, and it's a little tricky to get it out of both sides at the same time. Okay, there we go. Just got to disconnect the wiring, a couple hoses, and the motor's going to be ready to go. There we go. Okay. Let's move this HVAC panel here. I'll let us remove this. Next, we got to remove fuel lines, remove this catch can setup, and the exhaust. Should also remove the belt and pop the power steering pump off. Don't know if we'll crack that. Oh, I'm a genius. This one though, I don't know. Come on. Okay. Good. Off camera, I removed the front section of the exhaust and disconnected everything on the transmission side, including the drive shaft. We had to raise the car a little bit to get the cherry picker underneath, but after that, it was smooth sailing. Chains are attached to the exhaust studs, and on the intake manifold we looped a whole chain around it. We also added a couple rags around the chain as to not damage any parts. With just a few pumps, we had the whole assembly free and we were able to push the car back out of the garage. We were then easily able to lower it onto a tire placed onto a dolly. This way I could move it around the garage. Next up, we're going to be shaving and welding the engine bay, getting it all prepped for paint. Thanks for watching and consider subscribing.